And let's turn our attention to what happened in India's financial capital, where hundreds were stuck in the suburban trains for hours together. For hours together, viewers. People were stranded in these trains with the tracks flooded, with the services completely halted. They were helpless children who went to school in the morning somehow, and then the authorities woke up to say, oh, it's raining too much, we are shutting down the schools. These helpless children were then stranded on roads, stuck in their school buses, unable to go anywhere. Mumbaikars had to wade through knee-deep, waist-deep water. Many of them, hundreds of them, had to be evacuated from their homes. As the homes began to flood, they couldn't go anywhere because the roads were choked. That was the reality of the city of Mumbai this Wednesday. What's happening right now? Here is the latest update. The western line of Mumbai local trains is now functional. People are finally getting into these trains in a hope that they will reach home soon. The train operations between Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus and Thane still remain suspended, a very, very key line. Train operations on the harbour line between Wadala and Vashi still remain suspended. 145 BMC schools earlier in the evening were turned into temporary shelters. But of course, how do you get this information out to people who are stranded on roads? That you can go to this nearby shelter home, because everywhere we spoke to citizens in the evening who were on the roads, they couldn't spot the civic body officials or government officials helping them out. The orange alert for the city and adjoining areas continues, which means, this is what it means. You should expect heavy to very heavy rains even in the next 24 hours. However, there is still no announcement yet by the civic body or the government whether or not schools will remain open tomorrow, leading to a possibility of further confusion. We have had colleagues who were stranded in the trains for 4 hours, 5 hours, waded through water to get to office. We have had colleagues whose children were stranded on roads for 6 hours. Little children stuck in school buses could only make it back home by 7 p.m. even though the schools were shut, because there was no way to get them back. Mumbai is very, very angry tonight. And we are seeking serious accountability from the government, for the civic body that only shows apathy and only shows interest in encroaching our marshlands, in cutting down further trees, and zero interest, proper planning for the city. Flight operations have been affected. Multiple flights have been delayed. Passengers, hundreds of them, again stranded at the Mumbai airport. And we're going to get you details of that. Look at those visuals. People don't know when they will be able to get out. You can't get out on the roads. You can't get into a flight. There are those who are stranded inside the flights because the staff didn't get to the airport, because they were stuck somewhere on the roads. Passengers are stuck in aircraft or at the airport. Indigo has had to ground 30 of their flights. That's the status. We're going to go across. In fact, Utkarsh is joining me on the phone line right now. Utkarsh, can you give us an update about the airport services and operations? Flights have obviously been delayed, but we understand there is not enough ground staff, enough crew also that has managed to reach the airport.
Exactly. As we speak, I am right now myself stranded at the bigger problem is, one, firstly, no clarity about when the flight will take off. Every time you get a message. The other problem is that, as you said, there's not much staff. As the visuals, you can see that people all around with that. There will be one or two Indigo officials right now speaking to the passengers, and it's a complete mess right now at the airport. You won't have really seen that many people at an airport if you see those visuals closely. The bigger problem is there's no clarity, because as you said, lack of staff. There's only one person really speaking to all the passengers to tell them. There's no real clarity on even the charts which are on the television screens also. So at this point, clear mess, whether it be at a ticketing counter, whether I'm standing at the check-in counter, everybody is just hoping that they get to the aircraft. And as you said, it's not only about the aircraft, there are many who are standing in the aircraft that the aircraft should take off.
Absolutely. In fact, Utkarsh, Indigo has released a statement where they're saying that close to 30 flights had to be grounded as a result of flooding and waterlogging and subsequent traffic jams. Many of our ground support staff, crew, captains have not been able to reach the airport on time. As a result, departure flights have also been held up. So even though the weather has improved slightly right now, even though the rains have receded, if you are planning to travel and if you have a flight to catch from or to Mumbai, think twice about it, because the situation on ground at the airport is still very, very bad. People are tweeting from inside the flight, which has not been able to take off. And as you can see from the visuals, hundreds of passengers are actually stranded at the airport. Let me go across to Shaina NC. Shaina NC, why is it that the government and the civic body wakes up so late? We had forecast alerts put out last evening about heavy rainfall, but the BMC only decided this morning after the children had left for school that they are going to shut down the schools.
Firstly, we have to accept the harsh reality, which is that Mumbai is a low-lying area. We have seen incessant flooding in areas like Hindmata, Parel, which has been an ongoing. It is not as if the city was built overnight. We have inherited 15 years of lack of infrastructure in terms of haphazard planning and all kinds of situations. Despite that, we have had the meteorological department giving out alerts saying there will be a lot of rain. As per the Maharashtra state government's reports, between the 1st and 4th of September, we've had 399.4 mm of rain, which is the highest ever in 11 years. Now, obviously, the government of the day cannot predict the kind of showers, be it the rain gods or for that matter soothsayers, but technology has proven to be its best.
No, you're not answering my question. Please don't give me a lecture on what a low-lying area Mumbai is and what exactly climate change is and how rain is not under our control, China and Sea. My question to you was very, very clear. Why do the authorities wake up so late when the children have reached school? Why is it that the BMC is then announcing that the schools will be shut? What's the point of that? Who's going to ensure that these children reach home safely? Why is it that you are so hell-bent on cutting down trees, on encroaching marshland and developing the marshland when you know the city can't handle next? Cut down more trees in RA, let the airport flood next. What is this planning?
As far as RA is concerned, the 2,700 trees that are being cut are being replaced with 8,100 with an absolute surety on 100% survival of the trees.
Okay.
Don't forget,
so does that help the environment in ecological balance of Mumbai or some other city? Where are you planting these trees? Does it help the ecology of Mumbai or Thane or Pune? You do realize that if you uproot trees from one location, it impacts that place.
The decongestion.
You do realize that the Mithi River flooded today and people had to be evacuated on an urgent basis. 1,300 people are in temporary shelters tonight because we went on with unabated construction there on marshland.
Look, this is the same state government that you're talking about, accountability. Devendra Fadnavis was the person who banned plastic. Devendra Fadnavis ji was the one who's made sure that the Mithi River is clean. But that apart, you have had situations where people have questioned the congestion. Whether it's the coastal road or the metro, that can only be a one-time solution. But the development plan that has been put on hold only for these reasons. We have to ascertain the low-lying areas, saving of the mangroves, and more importantly for us as a city to understand that the damage that has been done we may not be able to contain, but in the days to come we have to have a vision plan where there is accountability, transparency, and that's what we have worked towards.
Okay.
And understand today, whether it's an agency like the disaster management team or the CM's war room or the police, traffic police, Mumbai police, all have been coordinating on ensuring that citizens are given time to time updates, told to please stay home.
Somebody who's standing waist deep in that water, or somebody who's stuck in a train, Shaina NC, somebody who's stuck in a train for 5 hours cannot get out because tracks are flooded. You don't know where the drains are, you don't know where the tracks are. Somebody who's stuck in waist deep water doesn't know if the next step is going to take him into an open manhole doesn't help. It doesn't help their situation. If you give them an update, it's going to rain so much more in the next 2 hours. Now, the fact of the matter is, and let me see if I can go across to Rishi Agarwal, environmentalist, joining us live this evening. Rishi, you know, one excuse that is given is, well, we are going to cut down further trees for development, but we'll plant them elsewhere. Does it help the ecology, the environment of that area?
See, the biggest point in opposing the car shed at RA was that where the car shed is being situated is one of the lowest points in the whole RA area. When it rains heavily like in today, the water flows from all the surrounding hills and fills up that very place where the RA car shed is going to be built. And it acts as a holding pond and then slowly releases the water into the Methi. Now, when you take 70 acres of that part of RA and concretize it completely and remove its porosity and bring it down to zero, then all this water which flows as a result of 200, 300, 400 mm of rainfall cannot be absorbed by that plot of land. And it immediately spills over into the Methi, adding to the complete flood scenario downstream, which also includes the airport. So the trees have nothing to do. Even if you cut all the trees over there and plant them somewhere else, it's going to damage the flood, or it's going to exacerbate the flooding situation in the Methi. So that's the simple answer. And the trees have got nothing to do with it. It's the grasslands which have the porosity and the holding capacity. Even if you remove the trees and the grasslands are there, it's perfectly okay. But the moment you remove the grasslands and the wetland nature of that whole plot of land, then it is a serious matter of concern.
Clyde Crust also joins me right now. Clyde, I hope we have a stable connection with you. Government after government have ignored the plight of Mumbaikars, have done no work to improve the infrastructure, and every year, multiple times at least, we all brace ourselves to wade through knee-deep water to get to work, and hoping that when we get back home, it won't be flooded.
You know, Tanvi, I've been very patiently listening to what Shaina has been saying, and I hope she listens to what I'm saying. Now, she conveniently, deflected the question that you asked her, that, why was the announcement regarding the schools being shut today announced so late? Now, the same situation is again that we do not know. I mean, my child is expecting, an answer from the government. That's what is happening with the schools tomorrow. We still haven't got any clarity about that. Now, the other thing that I want to tell you is that she was very conveniently saying that, 15 years of other government. Let me remind her and remind the viewers that for 20 years, the BMC has been run by the Shiv Sena and the BJP. And also the topography of Mumbai did not change overnight. So for 20 years, they've been knowing that Hindmata floods. They know that the Methi river overflows. They know all that. Now, the question comes here is that what happened to all the money that gets spent in desilting the Methi Nadi, in cleaning the Methi Nadi? Every year, just before the monsoon comes in, the onset of the monsoon, all these leaders go there, take pictures and show cranes, trying to clean the Methi Nadi. But where is all the cleaning gone? Why is the same situation happening again and again? What happened to the Brimstone project? Crores of rupees have been spent on the Brimstone project and nothing is happening there. So it's easy for people to say that 15 years this happened and that happened. But what were you doing for 20 years? Come last election, the BJP very conveniently said that we are not going to be with the Shiv Sena, but we are going to be watchdogs. What are they watching? Are they actually just sitting and watching and seeing whatever is happening? Today, the whole city, again, in the last, since monsoon came in this time, this is the 4th time we've been in a situation like this. And every time they keep saying that, so much rain has happened in a span of 1 day, which should have happened in the span of like 3 months. And we cannot do this, we cannot do that. The disaster management has been completely disastrous. You see the situation. The railways, it's completely to a standstill in the last few hours. The railway minister is gone to Lal Bagh Ka Raja and doing darshan. Fair enough, you go and do a darshan, but I hope he also went and did a little bit of darshan of what the situation of the Mumbaikars are.
If he believes
he should have gone and checked that also. He should have gone to the disaster management room. He should have gone to the railway control room and taken a look at that also.
The fault of
so
the monsoon
you can't
gods,
keep blaming what has happened.
And the rain fury is to be blamed for what's happening in Nasid. Perhaps he is also waiting for divine intervention to come to the rescue of Mumbaikars. Shana, do you want to respond to what Clyde is saying? Even now, as you and I speak, and we've been constantly checking, there is no announcement from the government on whether or not schools and colleges will be open today. What is the warnings for tomorrow? We know the Met has already said we are on orange alert. There is heavy to very heavy rainfall that has been predicted. What's the civic body doing?
The updates are regular, and I'd like to read one of the latest ones where it says that the residents around Mithi River have been evacuated temporarily to safer spaces. We are grateful to all the management of all the agencies that have come down to ensure that there is no untoward incident. If you are going to view this as a one-off situation, it's one thing, but do understand the long-term measures are those that the Chief Minister has been talking about,
such as?
Which is development, whether it is the metro, whether it's the coastal roads, doing away with plastic, ensuring that we have people's
you think a
participation.
coastal road and a metro, you think a coastal road and a metro is going to save us from monsoon fury when our stormwater drains and the entire drainage system is not capable of handling this amount of water? You think a metro is going to help us? What did you think when you were building the monorail that was stranded again today? Every now and then that monorail comes to a standstill, a complete failure of a project. People are scared to get on that monorail because you don't know when you will get stranded on it. Every morning through the monsoon season, there is a fear in the minds of Mumbaikars. Will I reach my office safely today? Will I reach my home safely? What about my children? Will they get stranded? How will I find them? The BMC is sitting and tweeting now about temporary shelters that they have created in BMC schools. People have been stranded on the streets for past 6 hours, 8 hours. If only you had woken up on time to tell people at 6 a.m. don't get out of your homes because we have failed to prepare the city one more year to help you tide through this monsoon season. It is ridiculous how year after year we are having the same conversation and the citizens are left abandoned to tackle this crisis by themselves. Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 2. And as we have promised you, here is your daily dose of the economy updates, state of economy. The auto industry, viewers, continues to feel the pressure due to the economic slowdown. India's largest car maker, Maruti Suzuki, has now announced no production days for 2 of its plants. That means that its factory in Gurugram and Manesar, manufacturing will be suspended for 2 days on 7th September and 9th September. That's because they don't have to make so many cars anymore because people are not buying the cars. And it's not just Maruti Suzuki that reported a fall of 35% in its sales. It's other companies as well. Hyundai, Toyota, Mahindra and Hero MotoCorp, the biggest of the names in the auto sector, cars and bikes, have all been forced to call for no production days, cut down their manufacturing because the sales have fallen so badly. Imagine the impact that will have on employment. And speaking of employment, here is the latest from the real estate sector. Top realty player, Lodha Group, according to PTI, has laid off 400 people amidst rising debt that has crossed about 25,000 crore and a muted real estate market. Macrotech Developers, as Lodha Group is now known as, has given pink slips reportedly to 400 employees. However, as per the PTI report, spokesperson for the group said that these layoffs were based on performances. That's it in the daily economy tracker that we are bringing to you completely out of time on this edition of The Last Word. Thank you for joining us.